With the 2025 NFL Draft in the books, the attention now subtly shifts toward the horizon, the 2026 Draft. While much is bound to change between now and next April, projecting early positional needs gives a sense of the direction the Chicago Bears could take. And as of now, there are several clear focal points: edge rusher, safety, running back, linebacker, and offensive tackle. Depending on how the 2025 season unfolds and what happens in free agency, each of those positions could evolve, but this projection serves as a foundation. Let's break it down. Edge rusher continues to be a position that lacks long-term depth beyond Montez Sweat, who, assuming he performs well again, will remain a key piece. The current supporting cast, Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, and others, hasn't shown enough consistency or promise to suggest the Bears are set. Even if Booker steps up, the Bears may still benefit from adding a high-upside rusher who can create pressure consistently off the edge. Safety is another major area of concern heading into next offseason. Jaquan Brisker, Elijah Hicks, Jonathan Owens, and another key name are all slated to be free agents after this upcoming season. That means Chicago could be entering 2026 with a completely bare safety room. Even if Brisker returns, concussion concerns could influence the team's decision-making long-term. It's a position likely to be addressed aggressively. Running back might not be an obvious need to casual fans, but it's emerging as a real question mark. DeAndre Swift's future is uncertain beyond 2025, depending on his production and health. Roschon Johnson's development this season could influence whether the team keeps investing in him or starts looking elsewhere. There are some intriguing young names on the roster, but no one has secured the long-term RB1 mantle. Linebacker could also climb the list if current contributors fail to separate themselves. Finally, offensive tackle remains an evolving conversation. If Braxton Jones or Ozzie Trapillo claim the left tackle spot convincingly next season, the Bears may bypass the position. But as history shows, teams rarely regret adding talent to the offensive line, especially if there's uncertainty opposite Darnell Wright. Based on this forecast and using the Pro Football Focus (PFF) mock draft simulator, which allows for 5 rounds of selections, here's a look at an early projection of who the Bears might consider in the 2026 NFL Draft. The picks, a position-by-position breakdown. Round 1. Jeremiah Love, RB, Notre Dame. Projected pick. Mid-first round 1 name already gaining early traction is Notre Dame running back, Jeremiah Love. A dynamic and explosive runner, Love stands out as one of the premier backfield talents heading into the 2025 college season. He averaged 7 yards per carry last year and totaled 19 touchdowns while showcasing big play ability, including a few hurdle highlights that lit up social media and game broadcasts alike. What makes Love a compelling target for Chicago isn't just his production, but his versatility. He's effective as a runner and capable as a pass catcher, making him an every-down back. With uncertainty around Swift and Johnson, Love offers a complete skill set that could pair well with Kyle Monangai, should Monangai show promise this fall. If the running back position remains a revolving door by season's end, Love could be the centerpiece of a revamped Bears ground game. Round 2. Derek Moore, edge, Michigan. Moore has spent much of his time in a rotational role at Michigan, but his production has been steady, with 9 sacks over the past 2 seasons and a pass rush win rate just shy of 14%. That figure places him comfortably above average and suggests significant untapped potential, especially with an expanded role on Michigan's defensive line this year. With Michigan losing Josiah Stewart and key interior linemen, Moore is poised to be the leader of the Wolverines' defensive front. If he takes the leap and becomes more consistent, Day 1 draft consideration isn't out of the question. As it stands, he's a reliable Day 2 pick with upside, particularly in a scheme that values physical, high-motor rushers. For the Bears, he'd immediately provide depth and possibly a future starter opposite Sweat. Given the uncertainty behind their top contributors at edge, Moore is an intriguing projection. Round 3. Harold Perkins Jr., LB, LSU. Once a freshman phenom generating early first-round buzz, Harold Perkins' career has taken a complicated trajectory. As a freshman, he posted 72 tackles and 7.5 sacks, earning national acclaim and even sparking early Heisman talk. But injuries, including a torn ACL and questionable positional decisions by the LSU coaching staff, have cooled his stock. Last year, LSU attempted to shift Perkins into a pure off-ball linebacker role, limiting his impact. He's best used as a downhill, blitz-heavy defender, a chess piece capable of creating havoc near the line of scrimmage. His physical profile isn't identical to that of Micah Parsons, but there are similarities in terms of versatility and disruptive ability. If used correctly and healthy again, Perkins could be one of the most intriguing defensive players in next year's draft. For Chicago, whose linebacker core remains in flux, he could bring a dynamic, blitzing element to the middle of the field. Round 4. Xavier Nwankpa, S, Iowa. With all of Chicago's key safeties entering free agency, this position cannot be ignored. Nwankpa, pronounced Wonka, fits the Bears' mold for a physical, run-supporting box safety. He's shown flashes of elite play over the past 2 seasons at Iowa and projects well to the pro level, especially in schemes that ask safeties to tackle reliably and support in the box. Nwankpa stands out as a potential replacement for Brisker if the latter either walks or continues to deal with health issues. While he's more of a classic box safety than a deep coverage specialist, his physicality and football IQ make him a solid Day 3 value who could compete for snaps early in his career. Round 5. Caleb Lomu, OT, Utah. Though only a redshirt sophomore, Lomu earned the starting left tackle role at Utah and impressed with his pass protection. He allowed just 2 sacks all season while displaying strong fundamentals. At 6'5" and roughly 300 pounds, he likely needs to add muscle mass, but the tools are evident. His future trajectory depends on whether he declares early or stays in college to polish his game further. For Chicago, Lomu represents a developmental tackle with upside. If the left tackle job remains unsettled, whether due to injury or underperformance, Lomu could be an insurance policy with long-term starter potential. In a league where offensive line depth is increasingly crucial, this would be a smart, forward-looking pick. Final thoughts: a strategic draft vision and the road ahead. This early mock draft offers a glimpse into a potential strategic vision for the Bears' front office, filling emerging holes with players possessing high upside, positional versatility, and strong college pedigrees. Jeremiah Love could be a fan-favorite name by next spring. Much like the surge of interest Bears fans had in Ashton Jeanty during the 2025 draft process, Love has the traits: burst, vision, balance, that fans and evaluators covet in modern running backs. If his junior season is anything like his sophomore breakout, he may cement himself as one of the top RBs in the class and a worthy investment in round 1. Derek Moore and Harold Perkins represent defensive investments with different kinds of appeal. Moore as a traditional edge rusher with upward momentum, and Perkins as a gamble on recapturing elite form. If Chicago's defense underperforms in 2025 or suffers injury setbacks, expect the front office to swing for high-ceiling players like these. Xavier Nwankpa addresses an impending need, especially with the safety room set to undergo significant turnover. His college production, physicality, and instinctual play style make him a fit in the Bears' defensive structure. Finally, Caleb Lomu embodies a smart 5th-round target, a player who may return to school, but, if available, gives Chicago a long-term developmental piece with a high ceiling. In the trenches, drafting for potential is never a bad strategy, particularly with the constant risk of injury and attrition on the offensive line. Of course, all of this is subject to change. College players will rise and fall. Injuries and transfers will alter trajectories. Chicago's own depth chart and personnel evaluations will evolve. But as an early roadmap, this 5-round projection shows how the Bears can build upon their current core with smart, targeted investments across the board. Bears fans should pay close attention to the college football landscape this fall. Players like Love, Perkins, Moore, Nwankpa, and Lomu will be key names to monitor, not just for entertainment value, but because they could soon be suiting up in navy and orange. As the offseason unfolds and the 2025 college season begins, expect draft discussions to intensify. If the Bears' scouting department sees the same things early observers are noting. Now, many of these names could remain relevant deep into next year's draft season.